Live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast where we help you get started on your fitness journey. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all off to a great week. Hope y'all had a safe 4th of July weekend. And now it's back to business as usual. And we're starting the week off with another podcast episode. So we're going to have a guest joining us on the podcast today. We have Mr. David Rafuse joining the podcast today. And I'm going to bring him onto the screen now so y'all can see him. David, just to tell you a little bit about us and what we do here at the Fitness Beginner Podcast is the whole idea is just to help people get started on the fitness journey, help to motivate people, help to, educate people a little bit. We tend to keep things pretty basic. And then we have people on like you, we'll dive deeper into certain topics. But yeah, that's we just trying to help people get started and motivated, learn a little bit, and just talk about fitness. I like fitness, so any excuse to talk about fitness, I'm all in for it. So that's a little bit about us. If you would, David, just go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. This is, something that I'm super passionate about as well. I've spent the majority of my life really in the fitness industry in some capacity. Not going back too far, but I actually began my coaching career coaching competitive swimming. And then that led essentially into opening my own gym with my wife back in 2013. So we've got a studio up in Canada on the east coast of Nova Scotia. And, we've been at this for 13 years. We've got 18 full-time staff here. It's an 11,000 square foot facility. We kind of do a mix between functional fitness, a lot of high rocks now, and personal training. But we've been at it for a long time. And to top that off, we've dove into a completely, I'd say we vertically integrated this into what we obviously do, but we started a SaaS company, a technology company, an app, just in the past 18 months, really designed to bring this full circle and help people that are specifically new to the fitness industry, to be honest.
And what's the name of your app again?
Yeah, it's called Train With Us.
Okay. Now, I've heard developing an app can be pretty tricky. How has that been on y'all's end of things?
Yeah, I mean, I am not technology inclined, so I have for the development side of it, we have a development team that's looking
Okay.
after that. So our CTO Alex is like a wizard in that world. So he kind of leads the development team in the creation of that. But I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've been at it now for 18 months. We launched the beta in January and version one. So we brought 20 gyms in Canada, the US, and one gym in Australia onto the beta to kind of get the ball rolling and kind of go through some of the, like get some bugs out and stuff like that. So we let the 20 of those gyms bring their members onto the platform. And we're going to launch version one of the app towards the end of July. So within the next month.
Awesome. And you mentioned you started as a swimmer.
Yeah, I did.
I got a lot of respect for swimming. I did an Ironman a few years ago, and the swimming, I ain't gonna lie, it humbled me really quick.
Well, you spend all your time running. That
Yeah,
if I was to do a triathlon, the running is what's going to humble me quick.
yeah. I extra trained for the swimming because I'd never like swam before
Yeah.
like that. I've always like swam like in the pool as a kid, but not like actually swimming. That was a
So you did the
whole.
full try?
I did the full one. Yeah,
Good man. That's awesome.
yeah. I'm kind
And
of
did you go sub six?
not the full. No, not for a full.
What'd you do it in?
I did 12 hours and 13 minutes was my time.
Oh, sorry. I'm
I
thinking of
think
a
you're
half.
thinking of a half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sub
12
10
hours
is
of
really quick.
swimming, biking, and running.
Yeah, it was cool.
A
I liked it.
mental test.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was a cool experience. I hadn't done an Ironman again. I've done a couple of triathlons since then, but not another Ironman. I'm gonna do another one day. But
Yeah.
I started me a bucket list, so I'm checking things off as I go.
So have
And
you put a high rocks race on there?
that's my next on the list. I try
Is
to
it?
do yes, I want to do one really bad. I try to get tickets for one of them I think it was Dallas,
Yeah. You've got to
and they
be,
sell out quick.
oh man,
I've tried twice now.
you need to be there like the moment that they launch to get a ticket. It's
Yeah,
crazy how much that kind of sport has an event has blown up.
yeah, it's crazy. I've tried almost 2 or 3 times now to get tickets, and I couldn't get them. They have one in Nashville in December, and I really want to do that one. I'm gonna try to because that one's the closest one to me. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to do that one. I'm gonna see if I can get tickets. If I can get them, I'm gonna do it.
I love it.
That's
I mean, your training would cover off on all that. Do you spend much time like, because you spend most of your time out of a garage gym, right?
mhm.
So the only thing in that mix that you probably don't touch a lot of would be the sleds.
Yeah, I don't have a sled in my house,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I wish I did, but
I mean, honestly, it's probably I would even most of us like gyms don't have the ability and space to have
mhm.
sleds and sled pulls and stuff. So I'd say like, I mean, I've done four now, four high rocks races, and the sleds, both the push and the pull, I would say that is the area where the vast majority of like the competitors have spent the least amount of time on.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, there's some gyms in my local area that have sleds. So if I was to do one, I would get a membership there just for that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. So all right. So what got you into fitness to begin with?
I grew up with it. I mean, it's crazy. I'm an 80s baby and I've got four siblings. All four today spend their time in the gym. My parents still, like, they're in their 70s and they still spend 3 to 5 days a week in the gym. And I don't think that there's a lot of people that grew up in the 80s that can sit there and say, like, their parents were that into fitness. So, I would say I'm a lucky one. I kind of like grew up around it and I just don't know a life without it. That doesn't help all the people that are starting off, but I can tell you 13 years of operating a gym, we've spent a lot of time with people that have come off the couch, their first time in a gym, or maybe not even their first time in a gym, but their first time seeing success in a gym. But even
Hmm.
today, I tell people all the time, I'm like, when we're traveling, and like I always make a point to stop by other gyms just because I'm curious and there's opportunities to learn. And listen, even when I'm traveling, I want to spend time in the gym working out. It's a nice way to kind of spend your vacation. But even when I'm traveling, I'm in like another person's gym. Having owned a gym and spent so much time in it over the last 40 years is like it's weird, like walking to someone else's gym. And like if I feel a little awkward walking to someone's gym with like having spent my life in a gym is like I can't imagine how weird it is for someone walking in for their first time. So although it's something that I've grown up in and around, I would say I understand people's hesitation or discomfort in like starting the journey simply because I feel that way when I walk into someone else's gym today. And if that's the case, man, it's a hard leap of faith to take.
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely see how a gym it can be kind of intimidating. One from the standpoint of all the different machines in there, like there's a lot. It depends on what kind of gym you're going into, but if you go to like a typical gym, it's tons of machines, tons of different cardio things. So like I can definitely see how that could be intimidating. And then on the other side, you have all the other people in there exercising. Like I always say the big jack dudes. You always see them, so they're kind of intimidating sometimes. So yeah, I definitely could see how beginners, and this is something we talk about a lot on the podcast. But my one tip for most people is like when you think people are thinking about you or looking at you or judging you, most of the time they're not. They're not. Like most people are only worried about themselves. They're not paying attention to everybody else in the gym. So
Agreed.
that's like the one thing that gets people. They're like, I don't want people to think I'm doing it wrong or look at me funny. I'm like, those people are not paying attention to you. I promise. They're in their own little world doing their own thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's why we built Train With Us. So, like the app, to give you a little bit of an insight on that, I mean, there's two sides to the app. One is like the owner management side, and there's a ton of obviously advantages specifically from a retention perspective. But I mean, what we've found over 13 years, the people who succeed, especially those that are new to fitness, and this is kind of like their first experience in the gym, are the ones who make friends fast. So the ones who feel as though like they find a belonging within a space really quickly. And as a gym owner, like I can very quickly recognize the person that I'm worried about because they're usually the quiet one in the corner. The person that walks into a class and they're like loud and they're like out there and they're like the center of attention. I'm not worried about them. They're going to find their way. They'll be fine. It's the person who's quiet that you're like, you've got to be a little concerned about as a gym owner and being like, okay, like how do we help this person kind of take that first step and meet somebody and make them feel like that, there's more than just coming back for the workout. I mean, the reality of it is again, we do personal training classes, and people don't come here for like the programming. I mean, oftentimes I feel like gym owners want, they're like all into their programming. They're like, oh, but like, this is how I've periodized the program. Like a beginner has no idea what periodization even is supposed to look like. So when they're sitting there and they're so invested in spending time in their programming, I'm just like, you're tackling the wrong thing. And programming is important because it'll prevent injuries and it'll help see progress and stuff. But for the average person, that's not the thing that's going to keep them there for the next year or two. And I don't care what the programming is. If you could get someone convinced to spend 3 or 4 hours a week in the gym for 1 or 2 years, it could be the shittiest programming in the world and they're still going to see results.
Yeah, community is a huge aspect of fitness for sure. You don't really think of fitness as like a community thing, but if you can get people in there and they actually enjoy it, and they have like you said, they can make friends right away. Like that's the one thing that's going to keep them coming back is that like community aspect of it. So I always recommend get you a workout buddy, like
Yeah.
from day one. Get you somebody that's going to do it with you because it's gonna make everything easier if you have
I mean,
somebody to do it with you.
triathlons and Ironmans have huge communities of people. And I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes it's not even about being in person all the time with them. It's looking forward to, you race with someone in an Ironman or a triathlon and you finish close to them. There's like an immediate bond that you have having done something that hard, right? And the same thing's happening in High Rocks. Is like you're at a High Rocks event and there's thousands of people that are, not professional athletes by any means. I mean, we're talking about like moms and dads, like, you know, siblings, parents, like the amount of like father, son, mother, daughter duos. Like I've gotten the opportunity to race with my sister, my wife, and I race High Rocks Toronto in October with my brother. Like those are really cool experiences to be able to do that with like a sibling or a significant other. And when you get to go through that type of stuff with like even just like the community as a whole, like we take our gym, like we travel for these High Rocks races. We had 77 members fly 2 hours to High Rocks, Ottawa.
Wow.
We had 34 members last month fly to Italy to do High Rocks Rimini. I think it's pronounced Rimini. We took 30 to Miami last year. We've got 30 going to Boston in October. So like when you get to do these things with other people, there's like something beyond the actual fitness and exercise perspective itself that makes you start coming back and turns it into a lifestyle and a habit.
Man, that's crazy. I'll have that many people traveling for High Rocks. That's pretty cool. I like that.
It's crazy, like the fitness. What do they call it? There's a term for it. There's some data that's come out from a company in the U.S. recently, and it's like travel fitness. No, it's not. What is the term that they use? Um, retreat fitness has increased by like 500% since 2023. Um, like crazy numbers with
Mhm.
regards to the number of people that are looking to go to a spot and do something active. But I think generations are changing a little bit. Like my niece and nephew, like they don't drink like we used to drink when we were in university. Like they spend more time buying $10 coffees after a 5 kilometer fun run on a Sunday morning. And I'm like, listen, I get doing, like I did that this morning. It's fantastic. But doing that at 40 versus doing that at 20, I'm just like, generations changing and I love it. It's great to see.
Yeah, it is funny. Fitness like events are kind of on the rise right now. I feel like you see clubs popping up everywhere, which is a good thing. I'm
Have you
all
guys
for it.
had any of those coffee raves going on in your area in Alabama?
I haven't heard of a coffee rave. No.
Oh man, it's crazy. Like, so they've just taken drugs and alcohol out of it and they bring a DJ in and it's just like caffeine.
Honestly, sounds good to me.
Right? It's awesome. And then they're like doing this where they're like throwing speakers onto a bike and they're doing these like run clubs essentially at night.
I have seen
And
that.
yeah, like they're
I've
awesome.
seen
I
that.
love where the fitness industry is going with that. It just changes the whole perspective for getting people off the couch. And it's no, like I said, it's no longer about the workout, no longer about walking in the gym, be like, oh, sick, like this place has a Leco gear. Like, no one cares. I mean, we've got a Leco gear in our gym, and I mean,
Hmm.
who loves it? Like, if you came to visit, you'd be like, this is sweet. I get a lift
Hmm.
with the Leco gear today. 80
Most people have no clue.
people walking in here, like, I don't even know what that is. It's
Yeah.
like that $1,000 barbell is the same as the $200 barbell at the other spot.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned like the name brand of equipment because like since I'm working out in my garage gym now, I nerd out on stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
love watching like gym equipment stuff on YouTube and stuff. I'm all in. It's funny. But yeah, but most people would have no clue anything about the brand. Most of them don't even know what the machine is called. They just
And
do
they
it.
don't care.
But yeah, it goes back to the community aspect we talked about. It's just doing things with other people. And I always even like to say, like, suffering with people. I know it
Yeah.
sounds bad, but like doing something hard with somebody else, it's like you said, it builds that bond like immediately. Like you say, if you did a high rocks with somebody, like you would have that like experience,
Yeah.
bring y'all closer together.
I mean, you see that with like the Marines and like
Hmm.
Army and military and stuff. Like they do things that create like a brotherhood,
Hmm.
for no better word, but like it brings them so close that they become family. And I'll tell you, you know, that makes me think of this is like in 13 years of running our gym, we've had 12 people get married that like who have met at our gym get married.
That's a lot. Like 12 couples or six couples.
12 couples, so
Wow,
24 people. Yeah,
that's a lot.
it is a lot.
Pretty
And
good.
we've got blended babies, which we basically say that of the 12 couples, two of the couples have had babies.
Mhm.
Um, since we're like, those babies wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the gym.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
How many people do you have in your gym?
800.
800. Okay.
Yeah.
And you say you did a little bit of high rocks, group classes, personal training. You have like, is it more of like machines and equipment or is it like CrossFit style gym? How does that work?
Yeah, we started off as a CrossFit affiliate, but like I said, we've kind of expanded over the years. So now we've got two different classrooms. We run 14 classes a day. One still follows like a CrossFit methodology, although we're no longer affiliated. And then the other room is so basically the way we explain it to people as they're walking in is like we offer functional fitness. One of our classes we offer more of a strength bias to it, and then the other class has a conditioning bias to it. Both incorporate strength, both incorporate conditioning, but at the end of the day one has a little bit more of a bias than the other. And then we have a 3,000 square foot open gym space that has like your more standard commercial equipment in it,
Mhm.
where we spend most of our time in there doing a lot of personal training. But what's nice about it is it's giving members the ability to that like come into the gym, they start classes because they don't know what to do, and so they want that like guidance. And then as they develop, they gives them the ability to start like getting their feet wet with kind of like adding a couple like cash outs or cool downs or some like accessory days into the mix. And yet as they get more comfortable with some of the like the movements or the equipment.
So one thing you mentioned earlier, you talked about your goal is to get people like involved right away. So what's something y'all can do? What's something that y'all do to like help beginners get involved like right away? That way they don't just quit in a week or two. How you keep them in the gym?
Yeah, so I mean, part of the design of the app is to connect people and not purposefully as like a dating component to it, although you can actually put your relationship status in there. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, don't you like if you're in your 30s or 40s, like you're not going to the bar to meet somebody now.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not where I want to meet someone that is probably going to live the lifestyle that I want to be living. So, I mean, realistically, is like, where would I meet the person that would be, the person I want to spend time with, whether it be a friend or a significant other? It's like probably somewhere where I spend, you know, 5 to 10 hours of my week, right? Like if I'm spending 40 hours working and then, another 40 hours sleeping, and there's only what 120 hours basically, 100, what is there? 127 hours in a week?
I don't know.
Whatever that is, somewhere around that. Is like, I better spend it with someone who also has similar interests. So my point being is like the platform is a communication platform. It bridges the gap. We could call it 168 hours. Well, man, I was way off.
It's
But
24 times 7.
yeah, yeah, we should have just done that math. So it bridges the gap between the digital world where people feel just more comfortable putting themselves out there, and then the world there where like you're going to create real, genuine relationships, because you can't generate a relationship online. Like that's not a real thing. So we just need to figure out a way to get people to connect. So like we designed the gym this way. We have a coffee bar in the lobby. There's couches, there's places to hang out and sit. So after workout, that people can grab a coffee or a protein shake and they can just like hang out and chat after class. And then events. Events are huge. So we run an event of some sort probably every 2 to 3 weeks. Like our next event is this Friday night, and it's called Last Man Standing. And we rent out the track that's just down the street, and it's 400-meter track, and everyone starts on a clock. They've got 3 minutes to do 400 meters, but every lap, so every 3 minutes, the clock starts again, but it takes 6 seconds off. So the next 400 meters is done in 2 minutes and 54 seconds. And it's whoever's the last one standing. And so if you can pace it, which is really what I would recommend people to do, is like they take that first lap at like a 6:30 pace. So it's just like a light jog. And then they slowly every 400 meters pick up that pace until eventually you're running, as fast as you possibly can, but essentially with no rest. So we run these events like this. It's charity. We raise money for charities. So the entry fee goes to this weekend goes to brain cancer, and people get together. We'll have 80 to 100 people participate, and probably another 50 to 100 people come out and just watch people do the work. And we bring out like a DJ to do music, and like we have a canteen again, charity canteen where people can, grab a drink or some food and while they're hanging out and doing that. And like I feel like that's the best way for people to meet.
Yeah, your gym seems to have a very like community feel to it. Cause like
Yeah.
to me where I'm at, I don't see gyms really have that kind of like that level of community where you're having like your own separate events. Now I do see that level of community when it comes to running, like the run clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
We do have that on the running side, but when it comes to like fitness gyms, none in my area are doing events like that. Which that's pretty cool. I like that. And it's funny that that's a cool idea. One, just for like a little mini event, but it's funny you mentioned that. I'm actually training for a backyard ultra right now. Are you familiar with that?
I mean, we stole this idea from that concept, except we just, instead of it being a running ultra, it's like almost like a sprint, a
Yeah, I like that.
backyard sprint.
I've never heard somebody do that. That's a really cool idea. I like that because you can do that in a few hours, probably less than that.
Oh
Probably
man,
like an
last
hour.
year,
Probably like an
everybody
hour.
got knocked out within 40 minutes.
Yeah, because you're gonna be running quick for
Yeah,
long.
it ends up becoming pretty taxing. Again, just a fun way to get people out. But I agree. Like, I think the run clubs have done a fantastic job at that. And we have like a run club that works out of Blended that we created. So, like, on the app, we have like, you're familiar with Slack. So like there's different groups within it and members can opt into these groups. And so it gives them the ability to essentially get the communication that's relevant to them. So if they're like, "Oh, I'm not interested in running," they just like mute and hide that channel and they don't get any notifications for it. But of our membership, 255 people like running enough that they've turned the notifications on. So like we have a run group that goes out every Thursday morning to the track and we do some speed work. And then, like for example, we partnered up with a local run club here. It's called the Bagel Run that happens once a month today, and we co-led that with them and had, oh gosh, there had to have been like 80 people that showed up, and it was just like there was a 5K, a 10K, and a 15K option, like loop option. And then at the end, you just like had coffee and a bagel.
Yeah, y'all. I like how y'all do different events. That's pretty neat. I don't see gyms in my area doing that.
I think we need to change that.
Yeah, I like how y'all do certain things. I actually, yeah. Well, in my city, I live in a smaller city, so like we don't really have. We have two gyms now, but yeah, they're not very big. So it's but like I live outside of Mobile, and they have some bigger gyms there. But I don't know if they do events like that. You definitely see like the running events and stuff because that's kind of like a more of a running thing. But that's a cool
It's
idea.
just someone to like start it. Like we started 3 years ago. So like our city, like the greater HR, we call it HRM, but Halifax Dartmouth area has about 400,000 people. And then our province, which would be the equivalent of a state, but the province has about 1 million people. And then our neighboring provinces are pretty small as well. So in the Maritimes, we're like the three smallest provinces in Canada. And what we did, because like a High Rocks will never come to the Maritimes, our cities
Hmm.
just aren't big enough, and we don't have like a building that would allow them to run a High Rocks race. So we created what we called the High Rocks Atlantic Series, and six different gyms participated this year in it. And each gym ran a mock race that was not a full high rocks. It was probably like 50 to 60%. Like it was taking most athletes between 40 and 60 minutes to complete it. And each gym ran what we called the qualifiers. And so you'd go, and the top five men, top five women, top five teams qualify for the championships. That happened back at the gym, back at our gym in September. And then, so we bring in 120 athletes to each qualifier, and then the top five from each division qualify for the championships, which brings us 120 people to the championships. And then the top male, female, and team end up getting registration to a High Rocks event of their choice anywhere in the world and flight vouchers to fly there. So it's just like you can bring gyms together, I believe, and you can create partnerships. And it was something that, when I got into the industry 13 years ago, I had this like objective because I moved from Vancouver on the West Coast to the East Coast, and Vancouver's way more active than what like the lifestyle is more active than what it is on the East Coast. And I said when I was moving back to Halifax that I was going to change the culture, and it did not change. Like I mean, I was 26 years old, and it just I couldn't move the needle. But what I could do over time was like get these gym owners to start participating together. And now we've got such great relationships, and we like co-host events, and it just like helps the greater community, like the fitness community as a whole. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's unique that you work with the other gyms in your area. Are these private owned gyms or are they like
Yeah.
big box gyms? Yeah, that
All
makes it
profit.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have very many like private owned gyms in my area. Most of them are all big box gyms. So it's I don't think
Maybe
they
there's
would.
a calling.
Yeah, I don't think they would collaborate on things like that. But
No, I meant you're going to open
yeah,
up that gym.
yeah, that would be like I would love to own my own gym, but
What's holding you back?
yeah, I don't know. I
You've
just
got all the tools.
it's a lot of capital up front to buy all
Yeah.
that equipment. And
Yeah.
my city, I don't think it would be very profitable in the city I live in. It's not.
How big's the city?
I think there's 16,000 people in it.
I've got a friend that is in a city that's 12,000 people, and he runs a $2 million gym.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
Well, the
it's
problem,
huge too. It's
yeah,
like 16,000 square feet, and he's probably got over 1,000 members.
yeah, the problem is the other gyms in our area. We
Yeah.
have we have a YMCA, which is where I worked out for years. And we just got a brand new gym that the city owns. So they kind of have, so it's, and then there's an all female gym and they
Yeah.
do great. Like that lady that owns that's killing it. Like she has tons of women. She just opened up a second location actually. So she's probably making stupid money if I had to guess because hers are all classes. So she'll have 50 people in a class.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it good there. And then we have like one small like 24-hour gym. So you're kind of competing. Oh, and I just forgot we got a Planet Fitness coming too. So that one's going to be tough to compete with.
But you have no gyms that are building these awesome communities that we're talking about. The gyms that are
Yeah.
helping people that, are looking to feel like they belong to something more than just show up and do a certain number of sets and reps and put their headphones in. And don't get me wrong, the people who do that and do that successfully, good on them, right? Like that takes a lot of willpower to show up, 4 or 5 days a week and spend an hour with yourself if you don't have a training partner and like just do the work like that's what I think is holding people back from actually seeing success.
You think just because they're going at it alone, or what? Why do you say that?
Yeah, because I think that there you, when people make a decision. So you have this choice. So the choice of being healthy and exercising and eating and stuff like that's a choice that people get to make, right? And when they make a choice to change their lifestyle, they have a battery, right? And so like every decision they make takes some energy out of that battery. And so initially, a lot of motivation. The battery's full. They're like, okay, I'm going to show up to the gym and I'm going to do like this programming I found for free online, or maybe I found a coach that's sending me programming or whatever that may look like. First week goes great. Things are really good. And, they're making some tweaks to their nutrition alongside of it, drains the battery a little bit more. And then week two, things are like pretty good. But like then in week three, something happens at work and they miss a session. And then all of a sudden, like week four, like something else happens and they miss a session. And it's like, it's not the first month that people struggle with. It's what happens in months 3 to 6. And if they can get past that 3 to 6 month mark, then that's where it starts becoming easy. And I always tell like when I talk to someone who's just starting out their journey, they're like, what do you mean? Like, you don't want to give me like, I've been hearing about macros. Like, tell me how much carbs, fat, and protein I should be eating. I'm like, how about we just start with you showing up 5 days a week? Like, and then like, let's focus on water. They're like, that's so simple. I'm like, yeah, well, like, let's see. Like, if you can drink a liter of water for every 50 pounds of body weight for a month straight, then I'll give you your macros. No fucking person, I don't know if I can swear on here, but no one will ever succeed at that is doing that for the first time. Like they just won't. And I'm like, you don't need to make this hard on yourself. The whole goal of this is to make this as easy as possible. And that's where we found like community made such a huge difference for us in like growing our gym initially. Was like we started with a purpose of like helping people find their journey and get fit and healthy. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, they don't care about programming. They don't care about the equipment. They don't care about coaching. And it's not that they don't care about it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be good. They all need to be good. But like the expectation of someone walking off the street is that the coaching's good, the equipment's good, the gym's clean, the programming's good because they don't know any different. So they just trust the fact that this is a gym. There's a door in and out. They have four walls. Like they put the money, they must know what they're doing. They just like give you their trust. And I think it's our job to figure out, okay, like how do we motivate this person from here? And if we can get them to stick around, like I said, for a year or 2 years, I don't care what you do, you're going to see some results.
Yeah, it's almost like I would encourage someone to do something that I know may not be the best fitness wise for them if it means they keep coming back. Like
Yeah.
if it means they are involved, and then a lot of time it looks like a lot of time it's community based. Like it's
Yeah.
a lot of like fitness classes sometimes get a bad reputation because they're not the best programming, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
so that sometimes they can get some negative feedback, or like, I know all the gurus will be like, will tell you not to do them. Well, because from a fitness standpoint, it may not be the best, but from a community standpoint, people love them, and that's
Oh,
why people do
Zumba.
them. Yeah,
Like,
and that's what keeps people coming back. So I
yeah,
would encourage people, if the only way you're going to go in that gym is if you're going to do that class, then I encourage you to do it. Even though it may not be the best programming, but you coming in the gym is like, it's still a win by you just showing up.
exactly it. I mean, whether it's yoga, Pilates, functional fitness, bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, Zumba, dance, like if it gets your heart rate up and you're doing it consistently, and it's like, I mean, there's so many benefits from a mental health perspective, and then it's like that's just like the thing that opens the door. Like it's going to evolve. Like you start off with Zumba, and after 2 years, one of your Zumba friends is like, "Hey, like I started throwing in this like workout down the street," and they're like, "Oh man, do you want to come with?" And it's like, "Yeah, like I'll come and do that." And it's like that could be the entry point where it's like someone decided to go to a YMCA into a giant gymnasium and dance for an hour, and then 2 years later, they found themselves under a barbell doing a back squat. It's like, however you get there, I don't care. You just got to have enough fun doing it that it keeps you coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever gets you through those doors, that's really what matters. Even though it
Yeah.
may not be the best for you. So you say y'all. So do you do any personal training
No,
personally?
I haven't done any coaching or personal training for years. I started off doing, I mean, like I
Mhm.
said, we started from scratch, like zero. So when we opened our doors, I mean, again, I was young and dumb, and I would not open a gym this way if well, now knowing what I know, but we didn't do any pre-sale. We like, we were like, we're gonna save some money and we're gonna project manage the entire project ourselves. So like, I was like, for 3 or 4 months before we opened the door, I was like in the gym doing work with the like construction crew and like setting everything up and not building a business around it at all. And like day one, we opened up, I ran 4 classes and I opened the gym at 6 a.m. and I closed it at 8 p.m. that night. And I was like working like 16-hour days, running 4 classes. And we had like 5 people show up on the first day. And I was like, great. And then it just like it took months to get the ball rolling, and luckily I was young and had the ability to you know work for 16 hours a day for 3 months straight before I figured out how to start growing the gym. But yeah, we've got a full team that takes care of all the on-floor training now.
So what? So for beginners, how would you recommend them hiring a coach from day one?
It depends on the person. um, I think that if you're really uncomfortable, like if you're gonna go in it, again, this comes back like there's some people that I think like there's a lot of trainers out there that have garage gyms and they do training like out of their garage gym, right? Like that setup is more and more popular. And for some people, like not being around people, and to your point earlier, is like having believing that people are like watching them. It's like they'll have way more success showing up to some guy down the street on your same street that has a garage gym and paying them $50 an hour to come in and like train with them than going to a commercial gym or a boutique style gym and jumping in the mix there. Otherwise, it's like you got someone who they're really intimidated about the gym and maybe have some injuries or some sort of health complications. Like, I certainly recommend and some sort of like guided version of a workout, whether that be one-on-one training in an ideal scenario or like a small group training session, like small classes of some sort. And it also depends on the style of fitness. Like if you're going to put a barbell on someone's back, there better be eyes on you.
Yeah, I always recommend if you can. I know a lot of people are hesitant to hire a coach just because they're kind of expensive, but
Yeah.
if you can afford it from the get go, I recommend hiring one, just because they can shrink that period of learning down a lot. Like if you just go in there by yourself and you don't know what you're doing, it's going to take you years to figure it out. It's going to take you a while. So if you can hire a coach from day one, they can help really shrink that learning phase where you're still learning your technique, learning the exercises, what they do, what they're working. Just the basic stuff. You can cut that learning phase down a lot just by hiring a coach. And
The one thing I always suggest for people when they're searching for a coach is like there has to be some sort of matchmaking process to it. So, like our general manager, we call him a matchmaker because when a client comes in and does a consult with him, his primary job is to figure out which coach is going to be able to provide this individual with like really a few different things. One is like, do their personalities match? Like, we have a coach that loves like Star Wars and like The Hobbit and like stuff like that, which
mhm.
is like I've never, that's like not my world. So if I got paired with him, he's a great coach. But if I got paired with him and he was talking about Star Wars and stuff like that during my session, I'd be out, right? Like that makes
Yeah.
no sense. But someone who comes in who's like loves video games and can relate with him is like that's the perfect match. And whereas like, I better be paired with a coach that's going to, you know, give me an ultimatum, right? Like push me in a way that is going to push me and not just like a soft kind of like encouragement. Like I want someone that's going to be like, no, like, come on, like you've got two more reps in you, right? Like, let's push it. Like you told me that you slept well last night, you ate well the last couple days, your body's feeling good, the reps look good. Give me two more. And someone who's going to talk to me about sports or business or something like that in between sets and reps. So I think matchmaking is a huge part of that discovery of a coach as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you recommend anybody not hire a coach from the get go? Like somebody starting out?
I would say the one person that I've noticed has more success moving to group classes are people who are in their 30s and 40s who played sports, like competitive sports, because the environment of a group class actually for them becomes more motivating. It's like, did
Hmm.
you play sports growing up?
Hmm.
Team sports?
Yep. Baseball, football, basketball.
The dressing room. Like when you finish, like I would say, like I played hockey. So when I was done my hockey career, the thing I missed the most was not going out in front of a full rink and necessarily like playing the game. It was the 6 a.m. practices, the like being in the locker room with the boys, traveling on the bus, like those things for me are the things that I probably remember more than like losing 5-4 or winning 6-2 against like some team on December 16th in 2004. Like I don't remember those things, but I remember, the Newfoundland trip or going to Boston or like I remember those trips and the bus rides and the dress room. And so when someone comes to me and they're like, I played competitive sports, I've been owed of them for, 5, 10, 15 years, still in like half decent shape, no major injuries. I'm like, you need to be with people that are like minded, that are going to be able to push you, that are going to give you that same sensation of like doing hard shit with other people. Otherwise, like if you're new to fitness, you never played sports, you are so uncomfortable in there that like you're not going to walk into a class that, you walk into a class and it's like grab a barbell and a squat rack. We're going to, we've got 3 sets of 8 back squats and you're going to superset them with, you know, 10 Bulgarian splits. Like that person's going to be like, what did I just walk into? Everybody's talking, having conversations. Everyone seems like they know what they're doing. You're lost at that point. But someone who's got that background and that environment, I think I would push them away from doing personal training out of the gate unless they had an injury.
Hmm. Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned people playing sports because like you can always tell like who did and who didn't play sports growing up. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Like I think this is hilarious. It's, as soon as you see somebody do certain things, you're like, yeah, there's no way he played sports growing up.
Although I'd have to say, like, not all athletes transfer their talents into the gym. Like,
Mm,
like the number of really high level athletes that I've worked with over the years and watched kind of transition into the gym, and they can't squat through a full range of motion or have zero idea of like where their spine is as they're kind of hinging. And you're like, that, like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, what's going on?
yeah, I definitely agree with you. Sports and like working out specifically, they don't correlate because I know some people that didn't play sports that are not coordinated at all, that
Yeah.
are absolutely jacked and can work out like crazy because they learned how to do those specific skills. So like,
That isolated movement.
yes, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit different than like sports. Sports are more like well rounded, like being agile and stuff. Lifting weights is a whole different skill.
Well, what do you think about the whole like hybrid revolution that's happening right now where, I mean, obviously with for you, you've got a big endurance background and you've got the foundation from like the perspective being in the gym, but what do you think of the this whole concept of like being both jacked and being able to run a half marathon like one weekend after the next? Like, I love it.
Yeah, I was about to say, to me personally, I love it. It's actually the style I do. I started out weight training. That's my background. And then in the past 3 or 4 years, I've started endurance sports. So I do both of them still to this
Yeah.
day. I love it. I love the style of training and I love switching it up because it does get old doing the same thing over and over again. So the fact that you can, switch it up, it keeps things new and fresh. And I think that's why I kind of fallen in love with endurance sports recently. It's because it's something new. Like I always played sports growing up. Now that I graduated college, I didn't really have any sports. So I kind of found the whole endurance sports side of things. And I like it because it's not really like team sports, but it's still like a sport background and it's something new. Like I've been weight training like since I was a freshman in high school, so like I always loved that. But finding the endurance sports was something new, and I liked it. So I'm all in on the endurance sport on the hybrid training, but at the same time, I think it gets glorified a little too much online. Like a lot of, I think a lot of the guys you see online are freak athletes
Yeah.
and they make other people think that they can do that too, or they can look like that too. They can run that fast too. They can lift that much weight. When in reality, like a lot of these dudes are just really good athletes. Like they're freak athletes, and they're jacked and they can run fast. Well, for most
You're
people, you're not.
genetically gifted.
Yes, like they're genetically gifted. Most people who listen to this podcast, you're never going to be that jacked. You're
Yeah.
never going to run that fast, and you're definitely not going to do both of them at the same time.
No, but I don't think it's about necessarily being that jacked, being that fast, or lifting that heavy. I think it's
Mhm,
about the fact that you're improving all disciplines of those.
mhm,
And, like our run club is called Faster, but it's not about, it's just about being faster than what you are today.
mhm.
So it doesn't matter if you're running, I mean, we use kilometers in Canada, so I'm
Yeah.
going to apologize for the fact that I'm using kilometers. But if you're running like a 6 minute pace, a 5 minute pace, a 4 minute pace, or a 3:30, it doesn't matter as long as you're trying to improve that.
Mhm.
And I think that's the case across the board. It's like, you know, most of us aren't like, I'm not going to be on the cover of GQ. Like, just never going to be. But it doesn't mean that I can't do things that are going to make me feel better, look better, like just all of those things. Like I think it's just a matter of like small incremental 1% better today, 1% better tomorrow, and make the most of what you've got.
Yeah, it's gotta be relative to you. It can't be relative to what other people are doing, especially the people
Although,
online.
man, it's impressive to watch some of these guys go
Oh
and
yeah.
deadlift or like deadlift, 400 or 500 pounds and still run a sub 3 hour marathon. Like freaks of nature. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's I definitely like the style of training. I think like you said, it makes people well rounded because you get the endurance side and you get the weightlifting side. So I think it's good for people to do on that side of things. But you can't get carried away watching people online because they're gonna make you feel bad about yourself.
And Hyrox is doing a great job of bringing that to the masses, I think.
Yeah, High Rocks is cool. I like it. Definitely has a like CrossFit vibe. I don't know if there's any like what's the word, ambiguity, how do you say that word? Is there any like beef between CrossFit and High Rocks? I don't know. I don't do either one.
I don't think so. I mean, everybody, it depends who you follow online, I'd say, but I'd say the vast majority of people are just like pumped that people are out exercising. I mean,
Mhm.
did you see the what was it called? Xenon in Dallas. Was it Dallas? Yeah, it was Dallas this past weekend. Xenon is like
Mm-mm.
a new hybrid. It's kind of they got $15 million to start this event, and it was hosted at, I believe, the Dallas Cowboys practice stadium last weekend. And it's kind of like a CrossFit style event, but with a High Rocks structure to it. So it's the exact same event instead of it being like constantly varied fitness like and
Mhm.
modalities and stuff. And so like you go to any CrossFit competition and every workout's different. This is this is a set competition just like High Rocks. They're going to do I think they've already planned like 8 or 10 of them for the year, and the competition in Dallas is the exact same competition that's going to happen in London next month. And so you can actually like directly compare and train for something rather than just training for like the unknown. But I think that however you look at it is like, as we've said multiple times in the last 50 minutes, is like, I don't care if it's Zumba or CrossFit or
Mhm.
High Rocks or bodybuilding. You get people in the gym or outside moving or running or whatever it may be, and they're just like, it's a win.
Yeah, I never heard of that event, but
Check it out.
yeah,
You'd be blown away by it. It's kind of cool,
it's
and the
called
scoring system
Xenon.
that they've done with it is it's basically how they're regulating the event from one event to the next. Xenon with an X.
Okay, yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking of Z for some reason. That's pretty. So that was their first event, and they went. Do you know how well it did? Like how many people competed in it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they sold the event out. So I believe that they take 1,000 athletes for the weekend, and there's like different levels. So there's like essentially a beginner, intermediate, and professional level that you can sign up for, and everyone gets essentially to do the same event, but your weights would be relevant to yourself, and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a little bit less inclusive, I'd say, than High Rocks. High Rocks did a good job at like, for the most part, allowing someone off the couch to jump in and experience a race. It might take them 3 hours, but they're most likely going to be able to do it. And whereas like not everyone's going to be able to go and do a snatch. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So I just lost my spot. Where I was at? Oh, let's say you had to create a workout plan from scratch for a beginner. Where where would you start with that plan? What would a plan from scratch look like?
And we'll make an assumption that I know that there's no injuries. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we'll go
So
with that.
we're talking about like a healthy human being that has no major limitations to them. I am immediately going to start off with the baseline is going to be around compound movements. So we're going to have some sort of like squat variation, hinge variation, press variation, pull variation. And then I'm always going to mix in a conditioning component. I mean, you follow the World Health Organization. I kind of believe in like the World Health Organization classifies cardiovascular health to exist if you have your heart rate elevated for 150 minutes a week, which is really not that long when you think about that. And then the only other thing that they say to help prevent heart disease and stuff is that you need to get your heart beating in zone 5 twice a week for like a minute. So I would always have some sort of like cash out that has a conditioning component, whether it be running, biking, rowing, or a kind of a variation of that. But yeah, I'm going to have a squat, a hinge, a press, and a pull. And just depending on the gym setup would be there from there. And then I throw in some accessory work on there. So like some unilateral work. So single leg, single arm stuff, just to ensure that, we're not just touching barbells or touching equipment that, isolates muscle groups in a really good way, but doesn't necessarily show any sort of compensation issues.
So explain a compound movement for someone who may not know what that is.
Yeah, so we're talking about like deadlifts, squats. So basically, it's any of the major movements that we'd see done in like a powerlifting competition. Bench press would be a compound movement as well. So yeah, that wouldn't be like the official definition, but it would be the simplest way to think about it.
Yeah. It's essentially it's a movement that incorporates more than one major muscle group. That's how I would explain it, because
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
you're
point.
utilizing more of. It's not focused on one muscle. Like you're
Yeah,
using more muscles to do one lift. So that's why I guess that's where the word compound comes from, because you're
yeah.
compounding movements or muscles together. So how, when it comes to somebody new, what is it? How important is it to celebrate like small wins, small victories on the way to like that big goal that they normally have, or somebody that's reaching towards?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Like I think people are motivated in different ways. And so, you know, it's funny is like our team, and I would love to do this. I would love to figure out how to incorporate this actually into the app, because our team, when we bring them on and they're on ramp, like our coaching team, they do personality tests. And have you ever heard of the love languages? So like they do personality tests, love language as employees, like coming onto our team. And the reason being is that, it allows us to work with each other in different ways. So when we understand that, that their love language is words of affirmation, then, we're not sitting there never providing them with any sort of praise and expecting them to feel good about their existence and like what they're doing. So, understanding that words of affirmation is their love language, even in a workplace in an environment like that, is like it becomes super relevant on how we motivate that person moving forward. So the same goes with clients as we're moving through that. We use Embody. Have you ever done an Embody scan? Yeah, so I find that in-body scans are like very valuable tools. Although they're not like perfectly accurate, they do tell the story. But more importantly, is like the story that they tell for the vast majority of like beginners is that the weight on the scale is not the be all end all. And so, like, when we can sit there and show somebody that, in a baseline scan, let's say their weight's 200 pounds and they just worked their butt off for 8 weeks, and they showed up at the gym 4 days a week, they drank their water, they ate good food, and they're sitting there 8 weeks later and they're like, I don't get it. I'm still 200 pounds. And then you get on a scanner and you're like, yeah, but you're down 8 pounds of fat. You just so happen to be up like 6 pounds of water and a couple pounds of dry lean mass. You're like, you're down 8 pounds of fat. They're like, oh, okay. Like that's what we're here for, right? Is like to get rid of the fat. Like the fat that you put on like more muscle, like we're all good with that. Like everyone's gonna be good with that. So I think that the in-body scanner, those wins, like seeing those wins and helping them understand that, that's always been a really valuable tool for us.
Yeah, the scale can lie to you
It's
for
tough.
sure. Yeah. So y'all have an in-body scan at your gym? That's
Yeah, we
nice.
do.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's very convenient to have.
Yeah, and it's a part of the membership. So, like, members do a baseline when they join, and then they do their first scan 4 weeks in, and then they do a scan every 12 weeks forever.
So explain to people what an in-body scan is, just in layman's terms.
Yeah, so it's a body composition analysis. So it really kind of shows us how much it'll break your weight into. So it's in this is not going to be layman's terms, but it's a bioimpedance scale. So how it works is there's 8 sensors on this machine, and it sends these little electrical currents from one sensor to the other through your body, and those the electrical current essentially measures what's water, what's fat, and what's dense in calcium. So that would be considered like bones, ligaments, and tendons, as well as muscle tissue. And so we know that like muscle tissue, like every cell, like when you put on a pound of new dry lean mass, like muscle tissue, it holds about 4 pounds of water. So when we start being able to see these breakdowns of like muscle, fat, water, we can again with proper analysis, and it's unfortunately it's not super easy for the person to read. You give someone an in-body scan sheet, and the first thing they look at is their body fat percent. They don't look at anything else, but there's so much more information on there that
Mhm.
is so much more important to be analyzing and looking at. So unfortunately, if you're doing my I guess warning to go with this is that if you're doing an in-body scan, make sure that you have someone that understands it to take you through it. The other thing that works really quite well is like take a picture of it and put it in ChatGPT and just ask a ton of questions.
Mhm.
AI is actually pretty good at analyzing it as long as you know what questions to be asking. But yeah, it'll break down your body composition into those 3 metrics as a whole, and based off that, we can get a pretty good idea of like how much body fat you have as a percentage, which is typically what people want to see change the most.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Chat GPT thing because I was gonna say that if you didn't, I was like, because yeah, it's like you say when you get that sheet with all your data numbers on it, I don't even know what half the numbers mean most of the time.
Yeah.
So
And it's confusing. Like every machine too is slightly different. Like we have the new 380 now. So like we have blood pressure, grip strength on there. It gives you things like phase angle, which is really cool. It determines like your cell membrane health. So like how efficient your body is at autophagy. So like the ability to discard of and get rid of like dead and damaged cells. It also gives us like an idea of intracellular and extracellular water weight instead of just total body water weight, which again gives us an opportunity to see if there's inflammation within the body. So like a general in-body scan and like some of the newer ones actually provide like totally different data sheets. And you know
mhm.
even for me, when I looked at the new one, I was like, I have a lot that I need to learn before I can like truly explain this to someone.
Mhm. You said it does grip strength. How does it do your grip strength? Like, do you actually like grip
It
as hard
has
as
a
you?
yeah, yeah. So like it has like so it's like 3 stations that you walk through. So you do like your blood pressure first, and it's a machine of its own. So just a cuff that you sit and put your arm in, and then you get onto the in-body, which is the scale that you have seen, and then after that it gives you give like you have like a hand. I can't remember what they're called, but the things that you grab with your hand and you squeeze,
Mhm.
all that data loops back into like wirelessly through and comes out on the sheet.
So you're gripping that thing like you're squeezing as hard as you can, like full grip.
Maximum strength. And
Yeah.
I mean that's been shown to be a really good indicator of longevity.
Mhm.
So grip strength has become like a metric that we want to be looking at for like mainly to determine whether or not you're at risk of sarcopenia, which is your body low muscle, like is your muscle mass shrinking significantly.
Yeah, I've always seen people do the little grip strength test online. I want to
Have
do
you
one.
ever done one?
No, I've never done it. I want to know
No.
on this.
Oh yeah,
I
you
don't.
gotta do it. I mean, I still think that the best true test of grip strength from a perspective of longevity is like a dead bar hang,
Mhm.
because
Those are
it takes
tough.
into account your body weight. So,
Mhm.
if you're 50 pounds overweight, even if you're strong, that is going to be significantly harder than if you were 50 pounds lighter with that same strength. So a dead bar hang, I think, is like the gold standard of kind of like determining grip strength as a relative marker to your body weight. And I think that the experts say that you should be able to like excellent grip strength would be hanging from a bar from 2 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
I
pretty
agree.
tough.
That is very tough. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I used to do head dead hangs just for fun, and I could do about a minute and a half. But 2 minutes would be pretty tough.
Yeah, that's considered like really, really good if you can do 2 minutes.
Yeah, but
It changes
I
as
need to
you age,
practice
I
them.
believe. So like once you get past 50, then the time frame comes down a little bit with that. But yeah,
Yeah, I need to. I used to use every time I did any kind of back or legs, I always use the straps on my wrist,
yeah, you
and
stop.
I quit using it just for that reason, so I could build my grip strength. And honestly, I would say my grip strength probably has gotten better since I stopped using them.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah, but I've never been able. I've always one of those little machines. I've never been able to test it, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it would be.
Well, it's time to make a trip to Nova Scotia.
Yeah, just a slight little trip up there. You say y'all are on the east side?
Yeah, so we're just like northeast of New York.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to Canada one time. I went to Banff, Canada.
Oh,
It was
nice. It's
it was
beautiful there.
cool. Yeah, yeah, I loved it. It was pretty awesome. But see, I don't want to keep you any further. I do want you to tell people where they can get your app at. Where I'm guessing
Yeah,
it's on the
we're
App
in
Store.
the App Store and the Google Play Store. To be fair, is like it's really going to be relevant if your gym takes it on more than you
Hmm.
as an individual, because if there's no like, we don't have any gyms in Alabama as an example right now. So if you went on there, like there'd be no one around you,
Yeah.
which would make it kind of useless. But you can certainly follow along with us on Instagram at trainwithus.app. And we post on there when like new gyms come on board. So if a gym in your area comes on board, then that becomes way more useful because you can see events that they're posting in like public events. So like, you know, luckily where I'm at, because I developed the app, most of the gyms in and around us are on the app. And so when I go on there, there's like 10 events upcoming in the next month that are being hosted by gyms just like within our city.
Yeah, so it's more of a like a gym community type app, not necessarily like a personal training type app.
Yeah, it's not a personal training app at
Okay.
all. You're not going on there for the workout or for like your macros or nutrition. You're going on there for connection to,
Okay.
yeah, build stronger connections, belonging, community, which, you know, as as I've kind of made a point to make is something that I think is really, really important, no matter where you are on your journey.
Hmm.
You need to find a workout partner or get a trainer or find a group class, something that's going to hold you accountable and keep you motivated on the days where everything fell to shit. Like my number one determinant is like if you walk into a gym and ask the owner or salesperson, like, you know, if I don't show up for a couple weeks, like, does anyone give me a call? Like, is anyone going to send me a message? And if they're like, no, I'd be like, this is not my spot.
Yeah, I do like that's a good idea to have the app like for your gym. So it creates an online community for that gym specifically. So I like that. That's a cool idea. I don't know why I was thinking like you could do your workouts and stuff in there too, but that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we actually want to keep people off social media. Like the last thing I
Mhm.
want to do is go on Instagram and scroll. I'm not interested in it. There's too much AI on there now. Like
Mhm.
I don't even know what's real and what's not real anymore. I'd much rather, you know, go on to like, you know, train with us and someone be like, "Hey, we're doing a run on Sunday morning or we're doing this workout on, you know, Tuesday afternoon or anyone want to grab a coffee after the workout on, you know, Monday morning." Like that provides value to me.
Yeah, I've seen. So it's kind of on the lines of like Strava. They kind of have like their group feature. It's kind of
Exactly.
the same idea.
You
Yeah,
got it.
I like that.
Yeah.
But it's more gym related instead of running related.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you would let everybody know where they can find you, your social medias. You can.
Yeah. David J. Rafuse on Instagram. And if anyone ever has questions or anything like that, you can always get me by email, dave@blendedathletics.com.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining the podcast. I enjoyed it.
I
I
appreciate it. It was great. I
You said
loved it.
the name of your gym is Blended Athletics, right?
Blended Athletics. And you can find that on Instagram as well. It's just Blended Athletics.
Awesome. Pretty cool. If I ever make it up to Nova Scotia, I'll have to stop in.
we'll do a grip test.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Murphy.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Y'all be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast. Thank y'all.